seems like the first step seems to be a pretty common theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And Jade?
Sorry, I'm eating to know.
It's all right.
I reckon it's just like a good thing to have extra information, like what Joel was saying, and like just to have stuff to build on, to like add to what you already know.
Cool. Thank you.
Opportunity.
Wonderful. And Steve, how about yourself, buddy?
Well, I was on the one earlier today.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. I've given you one more chance to redeem yourself.
Thank you.
No, so I was on the one earlier today, so I just wanted to jump on this one just to see if I can recapture some of the points that I may have missed.
Wonderful. And as I always say, and I mentioned to Steve today as well, I don't tend to script what I share. So what I shared this afternoon and what I'll share today, although I got some bullet points, will probably do two completely different things. So it's like hearing it for the first time. Wonderful. So I appreciate that. I guess what I'll do is give you an insight into what tonight's about for me. And tonight, I not only want to share some information and some things that you can take away to help you take that first step, I'm going to share 3 fundamental tools, which are the things that I believe you need just to take that first step. So for those people that mention that, and we've got some more people that are going to be joining us, unfortunately in the evening, sometimes it's running a bit late. So I'll still stick to the time. I'll record this. So if you know of anyone that missed out, be sure you can send it on to them. So that's cool. But one of the things that most of you all know about me is that I do have a passion for seeing youth get so creative, and I love when it comes to business and entrepreneurship and I guess finding careers that make an impact. And really what I see is that adults, and a lot of us as adults, we have so many limitations, which are ourself. And when I say limitations, you guys and girls have this ability to get a little bit of the information together and then take a step. And what we do as adults is we need all the information, and then we need to know, where's my compass? Do I put my left foot first or do I put my right foot? And you don't know which direction to go. So therefore we tend to make 1 or 2 or 3 years till we're absolutely sure that everything's right, and then we go and take a step. So I want to remind you of the biggest gift you have, and that is youth. And when I say a gift, I want you to know it's this. The gift is that you have this beautiful thing that's a lot more than I have, and that's time. You have a lot more time on this planet than I do. And when I say time, one of the things that I love, and I was just sharing with Joel, we had a call before this, is that I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's wonderful because he just tells it how it is. And a young entrepreneur was asking him, what's his advice for an entrepreneur, you know, someone who's young and just stepping in. He said, you could do everything wrong for the next 10 years and you're still younger than I am. And it's the biggest gift you have, is that you now have the ability to go and learn. And it's not that you go out and try and make mistakes, but don't be scared of taking calculated risks. And by calculated risk, we don't run across the road if there's a whole bunch of cars coming. We calculate it, but we don't stand on that side of the road and never cross because we think it might never be safe. So that's all I urge of you. And the stuff I'm going to share tonight, as well as something really cool and exciting I want to share with you, and that's a program that I now have available for youth that I want to give you an insight into as well. So I want to share that and get your feedback on, and I really sincerely hope it's something that you see may be able to help you as well moving forward. So let's do this. As I said, it's going to be recorded. I'm just going to share my screen now so you can see everything that's coming up, and then we will run through what we need to. If at any time you're seeing any challenges, just unmute your microphone and let me know. That would be wonderful. Now, before I press play on this, can you just let me know if you can see my screen coming up now? There might be a delay, just so you know. So if someone can let me know, can you see my screen online now? Or are we still struggling with that?
Just your head.
I'm still struggling. It's lagging a bit.
Yeah,
I haven't got it.
It will be in one moment. It's literally just starting to happen. So once again, if I could just ask a small favor, if everyone can just actually switch off their videos, just because it lags a little. And let's see if that helps us.
Yeah, it's loading.
Yeah, loading.
Got something happening.
Have we got a screen, my friends?
Well, it's telling us it's coming up.
The wheel is still turning.
They
I
call
don't even
that,
have a wheel.
they call that the wheel of death. Okay.
Looks like not much has improved since this afternoon.
Yes. And I'm actually going to not take responsibility for user error here either. This is purely the computer's fault. Now you should be able to see now. I'm going to press play and it should be coming up as we speak.
It just says that you've started sharing your screen, but it's just black.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
That's because it's lagging. And there we go. Have we got a vision, my friends?
Got it.
No,
Yes.
no irony in that metaphor. Do you have a vision? Maybe what we're here tonight all about.
Both, yes.
Can I ask a huge favour if we're able just to mute microphones? That would be delightful. As people join, you may hear some noise in the background, but let's hit the road so you can all enjoy your evening after this. At any point, if you have any questions, all I'll ask is this: just write them down, and I'll make sure there's an opportunity at the end for you to actually get really clear on some answers with that stuff. If you don't get it answered tonight, I'll make time for a call, and one-on-one we can chat about stuff so you can help as well. So here we go. Let's do this. Now, what I wanted to do was, I guess, share an insight. And for most of you, I guess, that know of me and have met me, and I've had the privilege of meeting you in person, is from that thing called MMF, that Magic Moments Youth Leadership and Business Summit, which, can you believe, is less than 5 months until we all connect again. That's really cool. So anyone joining now, hello. Thank you so much for jumping in. You do me a favor and just mute microphone. We're just about to kick off. That's wonderful. Thank you. So the thing that I now discovered, and I'll share a little bit more of an insight into my personal journey tonight, but it's that I have, I guess, a really true appreciation for the impact that you as youth can make on the world. I really do. And I look at our responsibility as adults in the way that we conduct ourselves to inspire youth to be all they can be. It's that we can't actually just go out and put all the things in place so you guys come in and take over the reins. As a matter of fact, we haven't done a fantastic job of that, I see, as the adult human beings. And so I love that quote. We cannot always build a future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. And the way I see that, in the way that I guess can inspire you, is to arm you with tools and skills and knowledge that I guess are things that are not taught in the education system. You know, when it comes to financial literacy, it's great being able to find your dream. It's great being able to follow it. The reality is, if you don't have the ability to sustain it and fund it and find ways that you can create income to then leverage to another level, your impact that you're going to make is going to be limited. And youth, more than ever, are so much about not making money simply, but to create an impact. And I sense that. But what I realize is that when you can succeed in business, be financially rewarded, then you can take that and then go and apply it and make it and take it to another level. Does that make sense? Wonderful. And so it's like, in a way, teaching you to be financially savvy, so that way you're creating businesses or you're in careers that you're leading from a position where you can bring the best out of those people. One of the greatest gifts we can do as adults is inspire you to do great things with your wealth. So really, that's what tonight's about. It's about empowering you to have some of those skills. Now, for those that don't know me, one of the reasons I'm here before you today, I guess, as someone who prides himself on taking a stand as authority in helping and inspiring youth to be all they can be. And I want to share this. This is someone, I'm not going to mention his name, but it's a gift that someone from that Magic Moment Summit gave me the very first time I ever spoke, many years ago. And I'll tell you what happened. It's as cool, and I remember it like it was yesterday. And I was at MMF. I just finished speaking for the very first year. I was on stage, and I literally just finished speaking. And there's a guy that stood about as tall as my waist. He was about 13, 14 years old at the time. And everyone was coming up and chatting. It was the biggest buzz. It was just wonderful. And he came up, I could see him in the distance, and he was sort of walking over, and he had tears in his eyes, like he was literally welling up. And I said, hey, mate, he introduced himself, and I said, how was that? Did you get anything out of that? And he literally just burst into tears and then just gives me this big bear hug and grabs onto me. And it wasn't tears, I want you to get it, it wasn't tears of being upset or anything. It was just almost like he was so overwhelmed at sensing his own power. You know, he saw himself as so small in the world, and he felt greater than his own existence in that moment. And he said to me, he just said, I wanted to thank you. I wanted to come over and speak to you because you helped me realize that it's okay to dream. And not only that, you helped me believe it's possible. And like literally, I just remember I was in tears myself, and I'm just overwhelmed. But the thing I didn't realize is that all those years ago, that young kid gave me a gift. He gave me the opportunity to see that this is what I was put on this planet to do. And every year I go and show up again and again. Every year I grow and I see all these youth and all these people wearing the different coloured T-shirts as they step into those leadership roles, and I'm blown away. Now, one thing I want to get you to really get, and that's this. We get sold on this illusion of finding your purpose. Now, what that does then in the world is it puts this sense of, I guess, overwhelm and responsibility of, geez, I've got to go and find this thing now. What is it? And you start consciously searching. I want to remind you of this. It's that our life gives us clues all the way through. So when it comes to finding it, I don't believe it's something that we actively seek out and look for. My belief is this. Through our life, we've had things that have played out that have given us insights, and it's when we're ready to see them. Now, this big moment, it still took me another 4 to 5 years to really grab onto and go, wow, this is where I see I can make the biggest impact. But when I look back to my school days and going back all the way through to primary school, I was always someone that was the student counsellor or captain and captain of school to the sports team, all that sort of stuff. And it wasn't from a place of wanting to be the leader, but it's that I really, really loved the fact that I got to inspire people and bring out the best in them. And then we go into high school in year 11. And I remember playing a big brother role in a way. I was in year 11 and they had a thing called a peer support program. And what that peer support program was where the year 8s that were coming into their first year of school had like the big brother, and I had 3, young adults I looked after that helped them into their transitional period into high school. And why did I do those things? They felt good. And why did they feel good? Now looking back, I realized that it was something innate in me. Does that make sense? And I want you to really consider this as you move forward, because to me, and you might want to write this down, in action is clarity. When we take steps, we get clear. That's why I said one of the limitations sometimes with adults, and myself included here, sometimes we get a bit caught up in trying to get everything right that we forget to take the step. And it's not until you take that first step, that might be gathering the knowledge till you're ready to take the step, but applying it in a direction that you feel might be the right direction, it'll lead on to these incredible things called lessons. And from that, I believe you will find your calling. You will find something that's bigger than you, and you will create an impact along the way. So that's how I come to be here today. And it's a wonderful gift, and it's something that I don't take lightly as a responsibility. So I want you to ask this question of yourself. And it's something that I guess I wish I had pondered at your age. Once again, I talk about youth, and your age is your biggest gift. I want you to understand for yourself, what would it really mean to have clear and specific direction? It's quite ironic I'm sharing this when at the start of the call, when we opened it up, it was almost about what step do we take? And now I'm sharing the things I'm sharing to help you understand that it's really about being flexible in the steps that you take. So what would it mean to have clear and specific direction, to know that you can now make a decision on the path that you believe is where you need to head? And the most overwhelming thing in year 10 at school, I remember, I was literally given a book. Here you go. Have a look through this and find a career that you want to do. I mean, in year 10, I didn't know what I was going to have for lunch the next day, let alone what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And for most of you that heard my story, and I'll share a little bit of insights tonight, I've changed and moved in so many directions. And it's through all those things that I've taken some learnings away that's helped me get clear And now with this new haircut that's a little thin on top, I've been able to make some decisions now that I now have that absolute clarity. Now, do you think you can learn from people that made lots and lots of mistakes that might be able to give you an insight into how you can maybe speed that up for you? Absolutely. And that's what I did. I sought out those people, which is something I want to share with you tonight. But what would it mean to design the life? We're talking big picture now. You know, some people, and I shared this on some of those one-on-one sessions I did with youth, some people are very good at looking in a telescope and looking all the way out, you know, to 5 or 10 years from now, and they can see a crystal clear vision of what things look like and what they want to create in their life. But sometimes they're a little challenged in looking in a microscope at the moving parts and things they need to do right now, the first step, like we're talking. And there's other people that really challenge with looking way out there, but they're very good at looking at all the little moving parts that are within in front of them now, all the information, all the knowledge, but then they get this thing called overwhelm because they've got so much knowledge and information and they don't know which step to take. And that all it is, it's finding that balance of the where you're going to where you want to be right now, or what you need to do right now to take that step. And it's actually being, I guess, a little looser in our thoughts of going, I wonder if vision is something I'm challenged with, maybe I can see out 6 months or 1 year, or push out the boundaries of what you think might be possible for your own mind. But what would it mean to discover those things for you? Discover your wealth path. I talk about wealth, you know, I'm not just talking about money, right? The thing with that thing called money in the world today, and as youth, you all know this and get a sense of it, it's the thing that when we leverage can really make a bigger impact. You know, people that are at that level of success, when you look at people like Richard Branson as an example, I mean, they're people that they're not doing it for the money, clearly, but look at the impact they make, the jobs they create, the difference they make in the world. They're literally changing the way we consider what's possible. He's building a spaceship. My God, he's sending civilians to space. Now, without money, that's the missing key, in my opinion, for a lot of people, because it's almost a taboo subject we're not supposed to talk about. So I'm here to say it's okay. I'm here to say that it's important. Now, the thing that I guess is a challenge when you look at money is when greed gets in the picture and it becomes all about the individual. So I really want you to get that it's so important if you want to make an impact that you've got to get some fundamentals in place. Now, my frustration is this is the stuff that's not taught in school. This is the stuff that when it comes to running a budget, you know, and all the things that, you know, I asked a question on Facebook the other day, and almost all the adults, what's the one thing you wish you learned at school? How to pay bills, how to budget, how to save money, how to invest. It was all those things that now in hindsight we wish we had. So that to me is one of the most important things, is even if you think it's not important, start to really understand just the basics and really start to get your head around the difference it can really make for your life. So I wanted to share something, I guess, really exciting about the way of thinking. I talk about entrepreneur, and when I say that word, I'm not necessarily referring to business. Some entrepreneurs choose to go into business for themselves. Some of them can do some very incredible things in leadership roles within great companies. So entrepreneurial thinking is just a creative way of making a difference and making an impact ultimately. Often they build businesses. And for me, this is the best vehicle I feel for me to be so creative in a way where I'm not limited by my decisions in the impact I can make. And so what a lot of people do, and what I suggest is, you know, you find that direction you want to head, go and get a job or a career in that position. Because what's great is you can make all the mistakes in someone else's business and actually get paid, even though those mistakes cost the business owner. And what's really cool, and it's something that I did in my early days, is I learned all the things I needed to learn. And then what I was able to do was not only see what they did great, but what I would do different. And it was all those things I applied to my first business that went on to be really successful. And it's because I learned from the job in regards to what I needed to do. So when I say that, as I said, it's not about actually just starting a business, or it's not just about heading into a career, or whatever it is you choose to do. It can be so many different ways, but it's about thinking outside of the logical box thinking that the world tells us to think. Tell me if this relates, and I can see there's some people nodding their head. It's about you guys as youth having that ability to actually, and you know this, to start to think creatively. More and more than ever in time right now, do you need to think creatively? When we look at the opportunities that are available in jobs and things in the world, do we think it's getting restricted, or do we think it's going to be even more creative? One of the things I love, and Jasmine, you know, I love that you're on this call because you could really relate to this. When you look at countries like Indonesia, you look at countries like Thailand, they don't have some of the benefits that we do in, say, countries like Australia, you know, when it comes to maybe some welfare payments while you're looking for that transitional job. Place like Indonesia, they support entrepreneurs. You have to be creative to even survive, let alone to thrive. So really, you've got business owners that are going out there and they're thinking in creative ways. Now, when you as youth are able to do that, your abilities to make change is absolutely unquestionable. And matter of fact, I mentioned Jasmine, so we saw her on, I don't know if that was on TV the other day, but it was a really cool appearance. And that's a difference that youth can make. People will stop and listen to you just because of your age. Now, I love that quote down the bottom. You might want to write it down if you haven't heard it before. Entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. What am I saying? You're going to have to do some stuff. I'm saying it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to sell you on an unrealistic dream that life's just going to be sunshine and rainbows. I wish it was, and for some people it might be, but then guess what? Their life lacks meaning. So one of the things that you'll understand is that when you start to push through by taking those steps, you uncover yourself, you start to learn some things about yourself. It's where you spend all that time, I guess, sharpening all the tools so that when you take that step, guess what? All of a sudden, you fast-track things in a way. And it's why you hear stories of entrepreneurs that have gone on to succeed and sold their business for millions of dollars and are now out, you know, just doing some incredible things with what they created. That's what entrepreneurship's about. It's about this and the 6 inches between your ears rather than just having to go and start a business for the sake of it. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about this tonight. So I wanted to share something really cool because this call is not about me. This call is about you and youth and your abilities to do things that many people can't. And you do it by just getting creative. Now, there might be a couple of familiar faces here. And for those that don't know, I've been working very closely with these two young individuals. And so the program and everything I'm about to share with you tonight has really come from everything that I've known and put together to then apply to show these guys what's possible. More importantly, to bring out of them what they now have discovered. And so for Dalton and Kieran, and you might want to read through in Dalton's words, everyone knows that charismatic guy. One of the things that they discovered about entrepreneurship in a way, it's really about when you see a problem in the world and you provide a solution for that problem and you make an impact in the process, that's when you get rewarded in a spiritual sense, in a wealth sense, in a monetary sense, everything, by all words of that definition. And so I want you to really get the need to actually go out and take calculated risks. I want you to embrace it and know not that you're going out to fail, but know that things are going to be a little challenging. What's really cool is I've had the privilege of witnessing these two completely different personalities come together with all of the things they've learnt and actually go and apply it to a business. Now, not just any business, but something that has the ability to give back to something that served them so well. And that was the Youth Leadership and Business Summit. And by doing that, what they did was they found something that was a great product that could serve the world. They have found a problem, found the problem, found the solution for it, and then found a way they can even provide a solution to that challenge of getting people along to this life-changing event. And so through that process, obviously, of self-discovery, what do you think showed up for them? Every time they take a step, guess what? Some fears, some objections, some things about their character started to show up. And every time they took a step and were able to break through those barriers, they started to grow within themselves. Now, it's not like I don't care if the business succeeds, but I want you to get that it's irrelevant. I want you to get that right now, in them sending out this to the world, with no idea how to create a website, with no idea how to register a domain name, with no idea how to set up accounts and wholesalers and drop shipping and all the things that they've now learned, and no idea how to keep a budget and finances and understand the numbers and work out, best distribution channels, all that stuff. When they've been able to now take all of that and apply it, I have no doubt in my mind it will serve them 5-10 years down the track. And like I said, it's regardless of whether this business succeeds. And I want you to go and check out Project Iring and see what they're up to, because it's really cool when you see people just getting out there and showing up. That's the most important thing, and it's what I really want you to get. So what I wanted to do, and this is probably one of the most important things, and when I actually worked this out, when I realized it about my journey, I'm like, wow, this is the difference. This is the deciding factor that helped me take that step without even knowing. When I look at all those years back, I guess the journey I've been on, this was the thing that I guess by reverse engineering the things I did in business and my journey, I was able to see that there were some critical keys and steps that I was able to take. Now, I want to explain this in detail and know that everything's a journey. So you're probably looking at this and going, oh, I don't really know. Well, let me explain something. And it's not about you actually knowing right now, but actually getting a true sense of maybe where you're heading. So when you look at number one, that level of entry where you've just discovered maybe life, the fact that you are alive, you have blood in your veins and you're breathing oxygen. And that is, I guess I label it the hopeless entrepreneur. Now, the hopeless entrepreneur, I guarantee you, is not on this call, and definitely not like all of you freaky people that are here on a Sunday evening. There's 1,000 other things you could be doing, but you're here right now. So I guarantee you, you're not falling into that space of being a hopeless entrepreneur, because they don't believe it's possible. There's no way it's possible. I've heard some stories and they're all garbage. They're people that are lying and they're full of crap. So we don't take it for anything other than it's for all those other people. But sometimes you may go through that journey where you start to hear some stories that start to get through. Maybe it's someone who knows someone, and then you get a sense that, hang on a minute, maybe there's something real to this. And that's the hopeful entrepreneur. That's that person that thinks it might be possible, but they maybe just yet are that little bit too afraid to actually take a step. They're a little too scared to actually try just now. Now, when you get to that point, which for a lot of people, I think you'll really get a sense and resonate with this, that awakened entrepreneur is the person that's gone, wow, hang on a minute. There are actually people out there doing it, and maybe I could be one of those. And they're the people that go out and I guess they find books. They're awakened. All of a sudden they're, oh my God, there's a whole world out there to the little closed off world that I knew as a hopeful entrepreneur. And they start to get some knowledge. And it's like, wow, there's people doing this. And then what they start to do is research. They jump on YouTube, they find videos, and they see people even younger than they are that are doing some really cool stuff. They don't yet understand maybe what it is, but most importantly, they now have a belief that it can be done. Now, for me, the journey beyond that is the most exciting part. When you look at an applied entrepreneur, that's the person that's taken all that knowledge, and now we're talking about actually taking that step. Now, they take that step because they've got goals in place. They've got a strategy. They're absolutely clear on the path. They know where they're going. They've got someone to guide them, someone they trust and someone they know has got their back. They're very, very clear on where they're going. And when I talk about a life plan, I'm talking about they know what the next 10 years of their life looks like. Sure, it's going to sway a little, but they've got a vision and they're heading towards it. They're clear on the purpose and mission. Although maybe not definitive, they know they're heading in a direction because it feels like it's where they can make the biggest impact. And then you look at that sophisticated entrepreneur. That's that person that, you see that's doing what they love. They've got cash flow. They're able to support and live a wonderful life, make a huge impact like Richard Branson building spaceships. They live in a career or a business that they absolutely love, and they contribute in a massive way. And when I say massive, look at the amount of jobs he's created, the charities he supports, all the things that are about him that's got nothing to do with money, but it's all about that thing called wealth. And when you have that definitively aligned with purpose, all of a sudden, you are like a bull in a china shop and you're going for it. So that's the journey I understood about me. And when I pulled it apart even further and I really got clear on it, here's what I discovered. I discovered there's 44 unique steps that I had to follow in order to succeed. And what I found for myself back then is I realized where I started to take some shortcuts. And guess what happened every time I did that? That's right. What did I meet with? Challenges and things that I then had to regroup, pull back, work out what I needed to do. And it was through not only the successes, but all the challenges that I was able to pick apart all of these parts in the journey and realize there was 44 of them. Can you believe? Now, I understand, the time difference, everything. I haven't got a lot of time tonight, but what I did is I plucked out what I see as the most important steps for you to take with tonight so you can walk away and go and take that first step. So who's ready? Pen and paper, or should I say as millennials, your iPads at the ready. Number one, I've shared this before if you've heard me speak. I want you to really get this. If you've read it before, you need to read it again. If you haven't yet read it, you need to read it yesterday or the day before. Now, when I talk about wealth, once again, it's this taboo subject, but I want you to get that this is the thing that will help you create the biggest impact. So how I come to find this was this. I was 19 years of age at the time. At that time, I was in a job. I was a mechanic, a motorcycle mechanic, and I loved what I did. Absolutely loved it. I was a third-year apprentice, and by then, I think I was earning about $330 a week in income. Life was ignorant and life was bliss. I used to ride motorbikes on the weekend, and I'd fix motorbikes during the week, and I'd fix motorbikes at night. I'd go to sleep, I'd dream about motorbikes, and I'd wake up and I'd do it all over again. Life was wonderful, but then I had this moment in time. So for some of you, that might have been when you attended a seminar or you read a book or whatever it was. For me, it was actually this encounter with someone very, very successful. And when I say successful, this was a guy that I'd seen on television commercials in Perth, where I grew up in Western Australia. And I saw the day before he had this huge boat and this massive four-wheel drive. And I knew nothing about money, but I knew that you needed quite a bit of it and more than I had to buy this thing that he had. And it was pretty impressive. But what was impressive was this guy's presence in the way he held himself and the way he was so strong and centered within himself. And I found myself in holiday with a group of friends. We're sitting in a spa, an outdoor spa. And this guy's sitting there. Jeff Moritz is his name. Very successful businessman in Perth, Western Australia. And he started questioning us all. He's like, what do you think we'll be making 5 years from now in regards to income? And back then, like as I said, I was earning $330 a week. So I think my stretch was, I said to him, about $100,000 a year. And to me, I even said it and it sounded ridiculous when I said it. I couldn't even comprehend it, but I thought I better find a nice happy medium to impress the guy and not sound like an idiot. So I did. And one of the things he said to me, and all of us in that moment, he said, do yourself a favor and go and read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Now, when I share about my entrepreneurial journey, it was this gift that changed my life. And I say it changed it for this reason, because it's up to me what I choose to do with that information. Now, just so you know, I wasn't someone who read books. Matter of fact, I actually hated reading. All the youth on this call, you probably won't even have heard of these things, but they used to have books called Choose Your Own Adventure. And what that was I was given, you had to choose a book to read and write a book report on it. Books that you had as Choose Your Own Adventures, like you literally got to the end of the chapter and you had to choose which page you wanted to turn to then. So you could do this, open this door and go to page 76, or do this and turn to page 46. And what I'd do is I'd quickly skim through, find the fastest way through the book, and that was the path I'd take. Do the book report on it, done. That's how much I despised it. But then something about this and the meaning that was given to it, in that there must be something, the awakened entrepreneur, there must be something in this. That boat didn't come naturally, it didn't fall out of the sky. And so what I did was I read it. And it was 2 months after that, I was very good at saving, but it was 2 months after that I purchased my very first investment property. I was 19 and I was absolutely clueless. I had no idea. I just read it and it made sense. I'm like, my God, why didn't someone give me this book in school? And it frustrates me they still don't do that today. And I read it and it just made sense. It was a different way of thinking. Now, the reason I share this is for this. The one thing that catapulted me in being able to take on this entrepreneurial journey was that I had this stability in place. The property itself was my foundation to actually take the first step into my business because I had some backing there. It allowed me the opportunity to take steps. Now, not everyone needs that. For me, in my personality, the way I needed a bit of certainty in having some backing. And the gift was that this person taking time out to actually share this with me is the thing that helped me take that step. And so that's why I share this. It's so important that you feed your mind with knowledge. And one of the things I want you to get is that this book is so important. The reason I'm here before you today is because back then someone gave me the gift of reading this book. Most important. Now, I want to give you probably what I would suggest is the most important thing that you can learn in life. If you want to succeed in anything, when I talk about anything, I'm going to talk big picture here and say life. It's about adding value. The more you add value to someone's life, the higher you will be rewarded in every sense of the word. I really want you to get this. When I talk about adding value, and I relate it to, entrepreneurship in finding solutions to problems. The bigger the problem that you can find a solution for, the more you'll be rewarded. Facebook, what problem did that solve? The ability to connect and communicate on a global scale. My God, did that add value to the world? Absolutely. All of a sudden, my mum's connecting with people she hadn't spoken to in 30 plus years. What a wonderful gift that is. And so when you really, really get a sense of this, you'll start to realize the impact you can make and the rewards that flow from that as well. So one of the challenges I see for entrepreneurs is this. They find something that they feel is a problem and they create a solution to it and they go take it out to the world and guess what? It's not that big a problem out there and therefore they get rewarded okay. So what I want you to do is get a sense of things that mean something to you. And they mean something to you, and do they mean something to a grander scale? And then how do you fill that gap? How do you, as who you are as an individual, then create something, be it a career, a business, a job, or whatever it is, can actually fill that gap so that then you can make an impact, and obviously the rewards will flow from that as well. So I want to use this as an example. Now, in no way do I disrespect anyone in the pictures below. And by that, I mean, when we look at career choices, life can take us in so many different ways for so many different reasons. But I share this because I really want you to get it. And it's the best example I can give. Have a look at the pictures below, and I want you to look at it like this. Not from what they earn in their pay packet each week, but who, in your opinion, adds more value to society, and therefore who is ultimately rewarded more for doing so. I'm talking financially, I'm talking fill them up in a way in the difference there and the impact they're making in the world. Of course, it's a doctor, right? Now, the one thing we forget about is, can you imagine the level of study, imagine the commitments, sometimes the eating cold pizza on your neighbour's, on your mate's floor, because you're going through university at those times, until doctors get beyond the 7 and 8 year study that they really start to get ahead. But there are people out there that are making a huge impact, in what they do, whether that be at a GP level, in really helping solve people's problems. People lose their health. Guess what? It's one of the biggest problems in the world. It's why they're rewarded so heavily for doing it. Now, when we look at the example of people that are collecting rubbish, what's important there to know is this, that without it, there'd be anarchy. Without it, if we looked out the front of our house, there'd be a mountain as high as the roof. But what I'm saying is, what did it take to get to that point? And sure, they're providing a service, but how much value are they bringing to society? Now, all jobs are important. And when you look at people that are in that hopeless entrepreneur place, guess what? They don't see any more, and that's okay. That's okay. But what I want for you is more. What I want for you is what you're asking for. And it's why you're here tonight, because you feel that you're destined for greater things. And that's the most important thing. So I really want you to get that. Now, I was looking through the paper the other day, and I just quickly, I skimmed too far there. The one thing I found the other day I wanted just to highlight, and once again, it's youth just doing amazing things. I'm here in Singapore, I'm flicking through the paper, reading drinking morning coffee, and I found this really cool thing. Once again, we talk about problem, solution. and finding a solution to that problem and being rewarded for the process. Now, this is a young guy. He's 28 years old. He's had this website in the creation for about 3 years. He created something called Yoda. Now, what Yoda is a place for parents to go where they can look for tutors to help their child in certain subjects. And much like Uber, it's got a rating system with stars and all sorts of things. It's absolutely cool. Now, I share that because it's very simple. And it's where he found a problem because finding tutors for him was difficult, of people that, you know, that were trusted and people that could help him through his studies. And he really struggled in school. So his mission and purpose was to help students, was to help young individuals get the best education they can, and finding a way to help parents in creating that opportunity for them as well. Now, it's gone on to be hugely successful, and he's done exceptionally well out of it. And what a great reference of, you know, just a low cost, low startup business that started as a website, and he found a way to then create a revenue stream from it and create something really cool. So I wanted to share that because I felt it really, really relevant, and really relevant in that all it is providing sometimes the simplest things. In point A, point B, how do we make a link? And then how to be rewarded for that so we can then create a bigger impact with those rewards. So one of the keys is this. If I look at everything about my life, the one way that I was able to see through the dark clouds when the times got really, really tough, and even to this day, you know, I still seek out those people. It's finding people that, I guess, in a way, are getting what you want. When I say getting what you want, it's trusted people. And Joel, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but I feel it's really relevant and so cool we had a conversation before this. Now, young Joel on the call, he shared his passion for property. And what's really, really cool is not only do I know a little bit about property, but I know a lot of people in that industry. And so one of the things that I shared with him, and it's ironic that we've got this slide in there, maybe just for you, Joel, or probably for everyone on this call, is that when you find people that, you know, if you wanted to start a charity and you find people that have done it before you, the fastest way is to get an insight. The fastest way is to understand what they've done. What are they doing? Now, how are you going to do that? You need to go and ask them questions. You need to get their strategies in place. And one of the things I said to Joel is there's a really good friend in Perth that I'm actually going to connect you with who does exactly what Joel sold to me of the direction he's heading. So I know that by connecting someone I trust with someone I really want to help, all of a sudden some magic can come from that. Now, one thing that I want you to do is this, and you might want to write this down, is when you find these people, I want you to ask them this one specific question. Once you start to connect with them, the action that you will take is this. I want you to ask them not for advice. I want you to ask them not for what they did, but I want you to ask them this specific question. What would they tell a younger version of themselves, and use your own age, be it 16, 17, whatever it is, what would they tell a younger version of themselves about how they got to where they are today? I'll repeat it. What would they tell a younger version of themselves about how they would get to where they are today, you know, at 16 or 17? Now, the reason I share it like that is this. If you ask them what you should do, they're going to give you advice. If you ask them what they give of advice to a younger version of themselves, what they're going to do is tell you their journey. Now, the most important thing, and who doesn't love a story, the most important thing you can take away is really finding not only what they did fantastic, but what they would do differently. I look at it like this. The wheel's been invented. We don't now go and try and turn it into the perfect octagon. That isn't going to roll. We know it. And it's literally going to be worse than what's been created. But what we can do is we can perfect the wheel. And that's what we've done as a race, as a human society. What do? We put a tire on it. All of a sudden now it rolls even better. We realize that you put air in the tire and things get, all the things. You get what I mean? It's where you don't need to go and reinvent everything. If you want to be a pilot, go find pilots. Go find people that have got what you want and go and ask them questions. Now, the really cool thing, and Morgan being on this call will relate to this, in the environment she's in now, she's meeting these really cool, successful people. And when you look at journalism and things like that, once you start to, as youth, get out there and ask questions, what you'll realize is these people are very, very open. Matter of fact, for adults to go and knock on the door of a CEO, the door will be closed and we won't even be allowed to get a peek in to see what the office looks like. But you get a 16-year-old knock on the door, 15, 14, however old you are, I guarantee you they're going to give you the time and they can't wait to share with you. Now, does it mean they're all like that? Of course not. But I guarantee you, if you start to have those conversations, they'll just be the most wonderful insights. So that's probably one of the keys that you can really take away. So I want you to make a commitment now, right on the page. You know, is it 3 people? Is it 2? Joel, I'm going to set that up for you. So that's going to happen probably this week, I'd suggest, as soon as. And it's where you can then find those opportunities, people that you can take some just golden nuggets and wisdom away from. Cool. Now, here's the problem. In everything I've shared with you right now, here's the biggest problem I find. It's that I can show you everything I know. I can teach you everything you need to succeed, but what's going to happen? For those that attend that amazing 5-day youth summit, what tends to happen when we go out in that thing called the real world? Now, for my Australian friends, they'll know this as the tall poppy syndrome. It is alive and well. They fertilize those things. They're growing strong. Now, the one thing we do love, though, is we love an underdog story. But the one thing is, if that person gets too big for their boots, what do? We slap them back down. Tell me this, when you look at youth and your friends around you, if you look collectively at those people, do they truly want you to succeed, or do they just not want you to succeed any more than them? I really want you to think about that for a moment. Because as Jim Rohn says in that quote below, you're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. If you spend time with 5 poor people, guess what? Where do you hold yourself in account and the ability to see the creative side? When you start to surround yourself with people that not only want the best for you, but share in your successes, help with the challenges, and know that you're there for you as you are for them, and vice versa. When people you surround yourself with have your back, then they're the people that I want in my world. They're the people I know that will lift me to a higher standard. And I shared this today. Here in Singapore, I just started kickboxing again. I haven't trained for 10 years. So I'm a little less flexible than I once was. And as you can imagine, that means not really flexible at all. But one of the things that I always do when I step into that class, I match myself up with the person that's so far above the level I'm at. And I find myself in a group, if I'm sparring or something like that, it's where I'm with a group of people that are so much better than I am. Because the one thing they do is they naturally want to lift you, and by them teaching reinforces their behaviors as well. And what it's done is it's fast-tracked my ability to get back up to speed in no time flat. It's wonderful. And really, it's exactly the same for you. It's about surrounding yourself with people that are maybe in that startup phase, but also collectively supporting each other because you're looking for creative ways to go and make a difference in the world. Now, you probably do that now, but you might want to actually do a budget on people in your world. Now, I'm not saying you get rid of those friends, but all I'm suggesting is be very, very aware of the conversations you have, and be very, very aware of the people in which you share the things you're up to. Because the one thing is, the doubt will creep in when you're in that place of fear. When you're in that place of unsurety and not knowing what to do, that's when those doubts will creep in and they'll start to actually make sense. Does that make sense? If we're in that awakened entrepreneur space, we're not hanging around hopeless entrepreneurs, because guess what? We want more for ourselves and we want more for others. So I really want you to get that. So what am I really saying? Find people that can help you. The fastest way to succeed in what you want to create is to actually find people that will not only hold you accountable to your own success, but that you trust. Now, the one thing is they don't have to have all the answers. If you look at the best tennis players in the world, does that mean that their coach is a better player than them? Of course not. But what do they see? They see the things that they can't when they're caught up in where they're at. And the other thing too is that they want what's best for them. It's in their best interest to see that individual succeed. They're the people that hold them to a higher standard. Someone who will share their knowledge, but most importantly has your back. It's the most important thing. And surround yourself with those that support you in your journey and your dreams. Surround yourself with those that are going places. And when I say going places, It don't have to be heading in exactly the same direction, but you can bounce ideas off each other to help each other and support each other and grow together. Now, one of the things that's really, really cool is if you can collect a group of individuals to do this. There's power in one, but there's a power in many. Together, we can make a bigger impact. The more people you have holding each other to that higher standard, the more opportunity you have to really go and make a difference in the world. So here's what I'm excited about. All of the things I've shared with you are things that you can get started on. And what I wanted to do now is share something that I've been working on in the background for quite some time. Now, you've probably had some little snippets, and for those that know of me, know that this has been a part of my life for many, many years that's now come into fruition. And working alongside Dalton and Kieran in their journey, it helped me solidify and put all the pieces together where I have something I want to share with you all tonight. And that is the ability for you to learn how to make an impact on the world. And I share this when I say find, follow, but most importantly is to fund your dream. To help you learn real life things such as financial literacy and ways of now monetizing your dream so that you can actually bring it into a reality and then take it to the next level. They're the things that I believe lacks. They're the things, when I look at the problems out in the world, when it comes to youth, it's actually not your creativity. You have everything you need in the level of creativity. If you're given the right tools to succeed, I guarantee you will smash it every single time. I'm never, ever surprised. I'm never, ever amazed, but I'm blown away when I see those business plans every year in the section I run at MMF and I see what people do with it. And you remember when I hear the stories that people share about, last year I thought about doing this and I did this and now this is where I'm at. And, I remember several stories of where they've succeeded at it. The creativity is not your problem. It's just having some real life tools to go and actually make it real. So who's ready for that? What I want to teach you is this. I want to teach you all of those 44 steps, every one of them. And I want you to not only understand them, but really, really, truly appreciate how by using them and getting them and stepping beyond them and taking them with you, you can actually then start to not only discover your purpose, but those beliefs of success. When you start to hear those, those dream stealers in a way whispering in your ear, all of a sudden it won't matter because you're so sure of your direction. You know where you're going, you know why you're going there, and you know the difference you're about to make in the world. All of a sudden, those people will just be drowned voices. Most importantly, so will that voice inside your head. What I wanted to do and see a need for is a community of people who support each other in that entrepreneurial vision. As they go out into the world, into their careers, go and make an impact in the world, there's people that you can share those successes with and creating a place for that to happen. To have calls that are live recorded so you can listen back to them again and again and again and again. And then the opportunity to have accountability one-on-one, to do one-on-one coaching sessions where as you start to put the pieces together, to have that coach, which I pride myself on helping you see the things you don't see, and then have the real life education to go and make it happen. The things that will help you actually make it real, the things that will take it from a dream, an idea, a concept, to in 12 months from now, knowing you're already making an impact, a profit, or you're heading in the direction that you need to head. And most importantly from that, if you look at the relationships in your life, the improvement now in showing up, in you showing up as who you truly are, when you grab onto that direction, all of a sudden you realize the people that will support you in your journey as well. For parents that are on the call, one of the things that I absolutely love, I did a lot of these calls one-on-one with youth in the lead up to this. And one of the things that was wonderful was that the amount of times that I had a parent looking over at their child going, I didn't even realize that's what you wanted to do. And it's opening up those levels of communication because your parents are your greatest supporters. And without them bringing you into this world, now them realizing the impact you can now make, which in terms is that appreciation for that gift that they gave you, that thing called life. So there's so much more you'll learn about yourself along the way. So what I want to do is help you go on that journey to be that awakened entrepreneur, but take you to that next level of applying it, to having the knowledge, having goals, being clear on the path, knowing the strategy, having someone to support you along the way, and know your purpose, your mission, and be absolutely clear on that direction. and move beyond as you move into your adult years in knowing the difference you can make. Now, the flow on is, guess what? You're probably going to go and have kids yourself. Now, when you have that knowledge, my work is done. Because guess what? You can then inspire your youth, your individuals, your people that come into your world as employees, all the business owners. As you get a little bit older and you see those youth coming through, you're the people that are going to take the reins. You're going to grab the baton and you're going to run with it. So that's what I want for you, is I want you to get to that point. In 12 months from now, I want you to graduate, grab onto the trophy of applied entrepreneur and say, you know what? I know where I'm going. Look out, world. Get out of my way. Let's go and make this happen. To be clear on that is the biggest gift you can have. So what's included? It's recorded sessions every single month. So it's a 12-month program. It's the whole this year. So we're looking at March, and I'll share all the details in a moment about how it all works. But it's actually taking you on a journey where I've revealed 3 of them. So it's 41 more things I'm going to reveal of how you can specifically do what you need to do, getting very clear on everything, and having someone to support you in a private secret group. There's a private group just for purpose-led wealth creators that can actually bounce ideas off each other, knowing contacts, just like with Joel before. I know someone that I can make the link, and all of a sudden now that can really bring something out for him. You know, I guarantee you'll know people. We've got people from all parts of the world here on this call that can actually then connect in and then go and create something together. So it's all the things you're about to discover. Now, the other thing too I realize is if you do something that's wonderful and you learn some stuff and you don't apply it, then guess what? You don't know it at all. And I don't want that for people. I want people to be supported to go and actually take the steps. I want to support you in your journey, be that one-on-one, be that with email support, in that private group, whatever vehicle that you can choose. And there's different ways or mediums depending on how fast you want to go on your journey. There's different levels at which you can get that support from me. So the journey itself, I want to make really clear, is not for everyone. You know, for some people, I really sincerely hope you got value out of everything tonight. There's some people that see it, get value and go, you know what, I'm ready and I want to take it to the next level. Now, I have some prerequisites. I have some, you know, I hate the word rules, but they're not really rules, but they're things that are expectations of you. And that is, you must be committed. If you're going to step into this, don't do it half-hearted. Do it in a way that you believe there's something in this that can take you to where you need to go. You must be committed even when fear shows up. When things get a little scary, as it did for Dalton and Kieran, you know, when they stepped through, they realized that's where the biggest lessons were. When they started to implement all that knowledge and the stuff that they learned, you know, and their business is profitable. They're a quarter of the way there to funding someone to go to the first MMF event, which is so exciting for them. And you must be prepared to actually support others in their journey. Be in that select group of individuals that are going places and know what can come from bringing all those people together. So that secret private group that I have, which can all come together. And it's secret and private for a reason. It's not only to keep those amazing people in, but it's also keep those other people I spoke about out. Because the last thing we want is people telling you it can't. Now, sometimes things are unrealistic, and it's my role, my appreciation for myself to help you and support you in seeing the things within yourself as to what are your own limitations that you either need to push through or that you need people to help you in creating that part of your journey as well. You know, I use the example, I can't make a website. So guess what? I have to find people that can support me in my lack of technical knowledge. I'm not going to try and do everything myself. And most importantly, you must be ready to make an impact on the world. You must be someone, as I know you are on this call, who's actually considering like, wow, I was really put here for great things. It's just that I don't know yet what that is. Even if that's the question you ask, you know that you're someone that can and has the ability and the desire to go and actually create change. That's what's important. Now, when it comes to this, you can go at your own pace. There's different levels of the program and different costs and things. I've got all of that laid out so you can have a look and entertain it for yourself. One of the things that you need to understand is that it's different for every person. You know, there's a program that's, you know, the basic recordings and email support all the way to the platinum package, which is where you'll get a call with me once a month. Not only that, one thing that I'm creating and the need that I see is for youth to be helping youth. And so those people that come on that platinum journey with me, I'm going to be working one-on-one with you every single month, not only on the things that you're doing specifically in your business or career, but to empower you so when the next group of individuals come through, guess what? You're going to be coaching, getting paid to coach them. I want to create those opportunities so that it's youth inspiring youth. Because at some point in the very near future, my message is not going to be as powerful as yours. Why is that? Because guess what? I'm a little bit older than you are. And the one thing that you have is you know things that are relevant right now. I'm not an old man standing here pretending I know everything that's going on for youth. But the one thing I do know, and I really get an appreciation for, is I find a wonderful way to connect with you all. And that really is appreciated when I see people show up to this call. So thank you, because without you, you can't help me create what I'm creating. So there's all the different levels of the things. Now, the one thing that I really want you to get is this. The people that are about to come on this journey, you are the pioneers. And when I say the pioneers, it's for this reason. In the future, you'll be signing up to the recordings of the calls. But what I'm offering today and tonight is for people to come on the journey, and these calls like this once a month are going to be live. And they're going to be live where it's you guys shaping the journey and sharing and creating the foundations for the next lot of people that are coming through on this journey as well. So it's like you have this opportunity to be at the forefront of this thing called purpose-led wealth creation. And what's really cool is I can't do it without you. I cannot make the impact that I can without you guys out there inspiring the world and inspiring through your actions. So here's that secret group I told you about. You know, it's where you'll be part of something that doesn't exist on Facebook apart from us. And it's where we share the things that are going on and we come up with ideas, concepts. I'll be on this thing every single day. First thing I'll do every morning is I'll check in that. Actually, it'll be the second thing after a coffee. It'll be the third thing. Actually, I'll kiss my wife first, then I'll have a coffee, and then I'll jump on this. How's that sound? So this is something that's so important to me for that reason. It's because I see the only way you can create those successes and go and lead the life that you deserve is that when you feel that support along the way from your parents, from all the unique individuals that are youth that are involved in this, and from everything that I can give and bring for you as well. Now, how much does it cost? Of course, I want you to truly appreciate the investment. So therefore, I've put it at a price where I want you to really see this as an opportunity for yourself. How much does it cost? $1. The first month is only going to cost you $1. Now, the one thing I want you to get is that I believe in what I'm doing. And I want you to get a sense of that as well, which is why I've offered this. It's an opportunity for you to jump on the first month, feel and experience everything about this, choose the level of program you want. No matter which program you choose, it'll cost you $1. If at the end of the month, you decide, you know what, I'm not quite ready for this, we cancel and there's no questions or anything, you can take everything you learned from that first call and start to put the pieces and maybe you can join down the track. So all it's going to cost as an absolute worst case is $1. Now, the one thing I realize is that there's people under 18 on this call. You cannot join this without your parents' permission, and there's a reason for that. The reason is I need your parents to know, be it mum, be it dad, be it both, whoever it is in your world, be it a guardian, be it a brother, someone that's that 18 plus that you have that trust in, so that they can actually support you in that journey as well. I can only do so much, but when you've got it coming from all angles and you just feel like you can do this, and there's those people that have your back, then that's when you will go and create the life you deserve. That's when you will make the impact and the change in the world. So that's what I want you to know. If parents are listening into this, you know, you can connect with me as well. There's ways, and I'll put my email address and everything there so you can connect with me, ask any questions you need. So all it's going to cost is $1 for the first month. And after that, you can shut it down and you don't have to spend another $1, literally. It's something that I want to make affordable for everyone. But here's the thing, this offer, it closes tonight at midnight. So you've got a website that you can go to if you feel that this is a step you want to take and you feel that this is what you need to take that first step, knowing what I've shared and knowing what I believe in what's been created over the many years and what I'm sharing with you tonight, there's the opportunity to have a look at all the different levels of program and find what's right for you. So all you have to do is go to that website, andrewdavyouthcoach.com, and it'll have everything you need. And as I said, you'll set up a subscription, which you need your parents' permission for, so they're aware of what you're venturing into, and it's going to cost $1. If at the end, as I said, you're welcome to just say, hey, you know what, I'm not ready. Now, I share that for this reason. It's because I truly believe in what I'm about to do. But more importantly, I believe in you, and I believe that this will help you get what you need. It will help you not only find and follow, but I guarantee you it will help you understand how you can make it a reality. So that's what I wanted to share. Now, if you wanted to get a real sense of the program, the actual website is purposeledwealth.com. Do not click any buttons and sign up on this website because it's the full price. I'm giving you something because you made a commitment tonight to show up, and that is the opportunity to do this for $1. So don't go to this website for any other reason than to get a sense of some testimonials. You can hear from some people that are a part of, really get an appreciation for who I am, for parents who have never met me before, and really feel that need to understand who I am, to entrust me as someone who can help guide and work with them in supporting their child. That's where you'll find all the information out. So if you want to get part of it and for that reduced cost of $1, that's the site you need to go to, is andrewdavyouthcoach.com. Or if you want to really get a sense of the program and everything it's about, then purposeledwealth.com is where you'll find out everything you need to know. Awesome. So here's the real key. As I said, this is the Pioneer Group, which means you guys will be going through this live, and we start next Sunday. Now, even if you can't make every call, guess what? They're recorded. Now, with the emails, I'm available 24/7. That means my inbox is always on 24/7. I might not answer it at 3 o'clock in the morning, but the first thing I do after I kiss my wife, have my coffee, read my paper, check the Facebook secret group, is to answer your emails, okay? So it's something that I'm going to be there every step of the way. You have my word. Now, if you miss the calls, you always get that as a recording. Even if you don't miss the calls, guess what? You get the recording. So you can listen to it again and again and again. So what I'd love to do now is, I guess, create an opportunity to open up microphones, hear from anyone that has anything to share. If you have any questions, please email me. What I'll do is I'll make a little note of my email address. You can jump on my Facebook page for those that are linked on Facebook. Otherwise, you can write down my email address. You know, if you need to get your parents to have a chat to me, happy to do that. I can even chat to them one-on-one, just so I can share and get an insight from them as to what they need from me in helping you as well. So my email address is andrew@purposeledwealth.com. So andrew@purposeledwealth.com, or the link's actually on the website as well. So let's do this. Let's open up any microphones. You'll have the ability to unmute on your side. So if you feel the need to share anything, if you want to ask questions, if you can give me an insight about something that you took away from tonight as well, that you can actually apply, that would be really cool to hear as well. So feel free to unmute your mic and just chime in at any time.
Andrew.
Yes, I'm not sure who I'm speaking to there.
Stephen.
Hey, Steve. Hey, mate. How are you?
Good, thanks. What I learned this time around, or I guess picked up, was the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. How I've read that maybe about 3 or 4 times, and every time there's a better distinction. And once, as you said, I wish I would have read that when I was 15. It's a fantastic book.
Yeah, awesome. What's your biggest takeaway?
Once again, from the book or from the seminar or both, from the webinar or both?
I guess both. I mean, if you look at Rich Dad, Poor Dad, though, I mean, what is it about that you can share with people that haven't read it? What is the biggest takeaway for you in that? What have you discovered?
It was just, I've hung around a lot of people that have gone to university, and I honestly didn't feel like I should, didn't feel that I needed to. But then after reading that, it's not about whether or not you go to university or not. It's more about what you feel you should do personally to yourself, I guess, and really just basic accounting, basic finance, and it's very simplified that anybody can understand it.
Yeah, well said, mate. That's right. And it is. It's actually keeping it simple. That's the difference. That book, I'm not going to say it has all the answers, but I tell you what, it's a wonderful start. And, you know, when it just clicks, you know, I was talking to Joel before this, and one of the things is, you know, when he's read some stuff, all of a sudden it's just made sense. You know, he's heard someone say something, and it's what's right for you at that point in time that's so important. So, yeah, cool share, Steve. I appreciate that, mate. Actually, Joel, love to hear from you, buddy. If you're available.
Sorry about that.
Hey, that's all right, mate.
No, I think, yeah, there was really, you know, there was a lot I took from that. I think, you know, it reinforced a lot for me, hugely, because, you know, you sort of read these things, but they don't really sink, like you just said, and then hearing someone actually say it, yeah, it really helps. That helps a lot, I think. So,
Awesome.
you know, it was all about reinforcing, and, you know, of course I took more from it.
Beautiful. I appreciate it, Joel. Cool. So maybe we'll just get another couple of shares. Jade, I think your mic was unmuted as well, so I don't know if you were free to chat. Jade?
Yeah, I don't know. I just unmuted it just in case I had something to say.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you did.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It was really cool to like hear it all, and yeah, like the tips that you gave out were good. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, the book and everything was all like good to hear, and then like about the mentor and stuff too. Like it was all just good, like to reinforce it all.
Thank you. I'm really curious too, whether that be Jade or someone else that wants to answer, when it comes to adding value in the world itself, do you really get how important that is? You know, and I use the sense of, you know, maybe, you know, the rubbish collector, and that's just an out there example, whether it's a reference that you can relate to or not, but it's more just really truly highlighting that when you create value for others, that's a life worth living. That's how I word it. Does everyone get a real sense of that and how important it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
totally.
Really cool. Actually, Jazz, your mic's unmuted, so love to hear from you.
Yeah, I loved how you mentioned about putting yourself in a community of people you want to be, and I've recently done that, which was a big step for me, and it's just opened this huge perspective and so many things you can learn from all these people. So yeah, I just loved how you mentioned that.
Wonderful. Yeah, great. And you're absolutely right. You know, when I look at the things that you're doing now, that's such a big mission to be able to, or should I say, to have to try and do that on your own, you know, would become so overwhelming. But when you've got that support around you and people that can give fresh, creative ideas, that's when you can make a real difference.
Yeah, exactly. Totally feel that now.
Really cool. Awesome. Morgan, I saw your mic's unmuted as well.
Yeah, I really loved this little webinar. It felt like I was sort of back at Magic Moments, and even though it's been a few years since I've been back because I've been so busy, and so it was really good to reinforce the things that I've learned over there, and look at the people that I am surrounding myself with. You know, if I'm getting a mentor, and looking at the steps that I want to take, particularly in my last year of uni, and where I want to be after that.
Awesome. Really, really cool. That's a great share. And we missed you, of course.
Oh, I bet you did. Thank you.
We did. Awesome. So maybe we'll just get one more share, and then we'll all go enjoy our evenings, because I realise it's a little bit later over in Sydney time. Oh, Marky Mark, there you are.
I'm watching a webinar about how...
Mark or Tana, are you online? They sort of are. That's all right.
He's got his mic off.
That's all good. I'll just unmute, see if I can make it happen. How'd that go? Marky Mark. Oh, that doesn't seem to work. That's all good. Anyway, let's call it a night. I know it's a little later, as I said, in some other areas other than where I am. So I just want to thank you all so much for being here. What I've done is I've recorded this as well. If you feel it's of value, I'm going to upload it to my page. You feel there's someone that could benefit, that would really take away some information from this, please share it. I'll do that straight away. That'd be really cool. Oh, Marky, there you are. I got you now. Oh, we got no mic. Sorry, bud. Don't worry, mate. After the afternoon I had working with computers, brother, it's all good. Awesome. Cool. So everyone have a wonderful evening. As I said, I will share this. It'll be up on my Facebook page. Share it with anyone if you feel that you'll get value out of it. I'd love to see people come on board with this as well and support you in it. As I said, it's going to cost $1, and that's it. Really, really cool to connect with everyone again. For those that I don't see in the near future, I will see you at MMF, which is less than 5 months from now. Reach out to me in any way, be it Facebook, be it if you've got any questions or anything I can do to help you, support you, or serve you in any way, please let me know. I would love to be a supporter of your dreams. Wonderful. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now. Hey, Claire, thanks for coming, mate. Just spotted you. Good to see you, buddy.
I think I accidentally turned the speaker on.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome, mate.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, Jesse, thanks for being here, mate. And there's someone named iPhone. I'm not sure who that is. But hello, iPhone. Sometimes I don't talk nicely to you, iPhone. Awesome. Hey, Clint, are you online still?
I'm trying to actually work out how to get off.
Hey, that's all right, mate. Hey, just quickly, how's everything coming along with your with everything?
Really well. I got hold of a couple of parks. So there was one lady. She kind of she just said I've got to get hold of the motocross, the motorcycle association in South Australia. So I'm keen on that.
Yeah.
I've got to get in touch with them. But I tried another guy. He gave me a website to go to and get in touch with. Yep. They haven't got back to me. But there's a new park outside of Adelaide that's coming along, and
awesome.
Peter actually tagged me in it. And I actually got in touch with them, and they helped me out heaps. Like, just letting me know what they're going through at the moment, like with all the council approvals and all the rest of the stuff they're going through, which kind of enlightened me because I didn't even consider council approval at all.
Yeah.
So I went down to the Cow Council 2 days ago and trying to find out what exactly I'm going to require through them guys, and they've given me a contact for a guy up in Cleve that will actually be able to help me out with that. So I'm going to get in touch with him, and yeah, hopefully we'll be moving forward.
So you've had some real good conversations by getting out there. And,
yeah.
Awesome.
I think the best one was with the South Australia park that's happening outside of Adelaide, dude. Like he was really helpful, dude.
Fantastic.
And he was glad to actually see. So yeah, no, it was really good.
That's great, mate. Oh, well done. So it's all happening. It's all coming together.
Yeah, it's starting somewhere now.
Fantastic. Well, mate, please keep in touch on that as well. Like, love to.
Yeah,